This is my old house. Pretty much from 1976 to 1986. 10 years. Before I got here, I was living in an apartment building on Woodrow Wilson of University. More like the Detroit West Side before I got here. This is the east side of Detroit, where I almost grew up at. 10 years of my life. I've had some good times, and I've had some bad times. This used to be my grandma's house. She got tired of the apartment building, so she wanted her own house. And back then, property was cheap. And then years later, I say a good 15 years later, she sold it to her daughter for $100. Her daughter didn't do nothing with it. She let it go. Someone else owned it, kept it up. The last time I seen this house, it was for rent sign. That was probably 5 to 6 years ago. I remember going to the store, walking down the street to go get my mom some cigarettes. You old schoolers know what that meant when we were younger. Our older parents used to send us to the store to go get them cigarettes for them, give them the note. A couple of notes later, you didn't have to go without. You didn't have to go with a note. I remember skipping. I remember the lady across the street. The house doesn't exist anymore, but she sat on her porch, took her bra off with her shirt on. And I said, what the hell is this lady doing? She look crazy. Well, guess what? I'm pretty much that lady because now I know how to take a bra off with my shirt on. I remember the burn house. Used to sit across the street at the corner. Ex-boyfriends, people used to stay there. My first loves, people used to stay there. Capricorn. Ooh-wee. I remember when the old guy in the house on the corner to the left, been there for years, and I know he owned this house because he used to have all this truck stuff and stuff all in his yard. He used to keep the yard up. Had a fight at that corner. Took that fight all the way to the next block through the alley to the next block. I remember when a car ran right into the porch. We was all sitting in the house. So my grandma got the porch fixed. She had painted the porch gray, and I guess the new people kept it gray. I remember the backyard. Oh my goodness. I remember having sex in the garden. Ooh. I remember bringing many boyfriends over here. I remember my mom doing her little dirty deeds in the attic. I remember the house that used to sit next door. I still dream about that house to this day, and this house. Oh my goodness. I mean, it literally, to this day, I dream about this house. My grandma, she always come and see me when we'd be in her room, in every dream, in every dream. The house that used to sit next door, I remember I was sitting on the toilet, and I could see the house through the toilet, through the bathroom hallway, through the living room, and I seen a fire. And I was like, Grandma, there's a fire. So she called the firemen, and they end up putting it out. But that house sat there so long, they end up tearing it down before we left. And there used to be a house that sit right at the corner. But they tore that down probably a couple of years after we moved in this house. I remember next door used to be Mrs. Potts, and the old geezer that used to stay upstairs used to tell on me all the time. Diane, she at it again. Get her. I couldn't do nothing without her seeing. Even on this side of the house, she still was able to see me somehow through my house. Oh my goodness. Times have truly changed. I remember my grandma had bushes. She kept her yard up, her garden up. There was a drive-through. There's no drive-through. I remember I pushed my grandma's car when I was pregnant with my first daughter. I had to go to the emergency that night. I didn't know what was the problem, but they asked me those question, "What you do today?" So I said very calmly, I just helped my grandma push her car into the driveway. Well, you did what? And how many months are you? I remember down this street, I got robbed right where that car coming out. I was getting off the bus, walked all the way down here, didn't have no milk, no money for my daughters. For I think she was here probably a month, she was a couple months old. She needed diapers and stuff. So I finally got the baby daddy to help me out. I remember my first birthday party here. I even remember when my grandma took her shotgun out to shoot her, getting ready to shoot her son because he kept stealing her car. The good old days. And I remember this one particular scene in this house. My grandma and my mom was sitting at the kitchen table. And so I was getting ready to come out that door to go to school, and they stopped me. It's like, we know you ain't going to school. And I'm like, I am today, for real. Like, for real. Like, I hadn't been going, like, seriously, for real. But they was like, get your ass in here. Now, we've come to the decision. Since I've gotten all these letters that you haven't been in school over 40 days. Like, dang. And so they was like, you either going to go to girls' school or you going to go to Detroit Job Corps. My mom used to go to an all-girls school. I said, Detroit Job Corps. Yep, I'll pick that instead. And that's what I ended up doing. So I barely went to high school. I went to middle school and elementary, but I barely went to high school. Just didn't like it. But this is my old block. I wanted to share with you. This is kind of personal because this used to be my grandmom's house. And there was like, I think, 2 owners after her. My mom, she had it for a little while. She sold it to her daughter for $100. She didn't keep it up. Good old days, the good old days, the good old days. I remember across the way in the next block used to be a penny candy store. Yeah, all us little kids used to run over there when we had a couple of dollars. We had big bags of candy. Sure, and then we didn't even need a couple of dollars. A dollar would do, even 50 cents would do, and we had a lot of pieces of candy. Oh my goodness, good old days, the good old days. I've even had some tragedies going on up in here. I'm not going to mention. Just know pretty much the good outweighs the bad. And I truly appreciate the upbringing I had with 2 women who tried their best. They're not perfect, but they tried their best. And now I'm here, almost 50 years old in a few years. And I thank God I am still alive. And I thank God each and every day He gives me. God is so good. My mom and my grandma not here. Rest in heaven. I love y'all. I miss y'all. Well, I just wanted to share this with you. Where I grew up pretty much at. Because even after this, I moved from place to place to place to place. I'm still moving from place to place to place. Well, one day, show me where you used to live or post up pics from your old hood, because this is definitely the hood. The old people used to stay next door. My best friends, how I met my BFF, Niecy and Portia Lockridge. We went no more than about 5 houses from each other. My first love stayed with my BFF, her uncle upstairs. We used to have little fights, and he would come in the backyard, in the back porch, and whew, Just say he got nasty. And I had to watch. My grandma enjoyed the laughters too. And my mom. Well, y'all have a blessed day and evening. Thank you for just taking the time out to listen and share with me as I share with you. Later. Much love.